that's because of the special assessment that has to be.
Correct.
So it is technically a tax account, I guess, okay. Yeah, I'll maybe make some modifications and maybe give you a call, and then we can bring it back, polished version, and as far as, you know, what you do as far as like reconciliation and reconciling with the county, you know, if anything, I think that would be in a separate policy. This is just outgoing cash, starting with our purchasing, our accounts payable, and then, yeah, we also have our tax disbursements, so three separate policies to go to our new book. So we'll table that and, get something for next month. Where are we at? All right, well, we're now at our open public comment section, so, any topics? We have, Pastor Zane.
I do.
Welcome.
Yes, probably the past 6 months, my wife and I have been trying to decide what we want to do with our retirement, so we want to subdivide our property and been to Marcy, and I had it first submitted that we divided up 3 ways. Problem is, it wasn't 5 acres each parcel, so we went back and we're gonna fix that. But, so then I said we'd like to build a post frame construction. And I went to Dave and I asked Dave if, you know, would he, but could I submit that? He said, no, there's no post frame construction in Cato Township. Now, there's scores of them all the way around us within 5 miles of us. So I thought, hold it, my neighbor, John Hirschberger, has a beautiful, probably $500,000 post frame house right behind me that butts up against my property. So I guess my question is, how did he get his approved, but I can't? But mine can't be considered. I guess the question ought to be directed to Dave.
Yeah, I guess, post-frame construction, I'm not a builder, by any means, but is the word barn dominium?
Barn dominium, yeah, that's post frame.
Okay. Well, I guess, in the interest of time, I don't know, Dave, do you kind of?
Well, how long ago did he build that?
Within the last 3 years, I'm sure of
Yeah,
that.
I know
Okay,
what you're
now,
talking.
There's one going on right now in a different township, and he didn't put down barn dominium. He put down in there that it was a dwelling, and there's a different, barn dominium's barn dominium.
Is that
and now it's in
post-frame?
the middle of, it's getting close to going to court.
Are we talking the same thing, post frame, barn dominium, same, is that, would you consider that the same thing?
Yeah, I believe Belvedere you have to have a continuous foundation.
We're in Cato.
If I was in my office, I'd be able to tell you more, it's all over, but a continuous foundation, if you put a continuous foundation in there, you can, because our zoning book requires that, or it might say you have to have a crawl space, I don't know, I don't remember reading that in this township, but, so what possibly happened was, I wasn't told that it was a barn dominium.
Wasn't it the same thing?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, a continuous foundation, a barn dominium, you don't put a foundation.
yeah, you don't put a continuous
And in our zoning book,
foundation.
you have to have a continuous foundation, and the blocks have to go up at least 16 inches off the ground. According to our zoning book, that's
Yeah.
barn dominium, you don't have blocks.
Is that an old regulation? Is that a new
It's been
regulation?
there since I've been here, I don't know, it's never been changed to that.
Okay,
I've heard Phil at the planning commission ask about barn dominiums and that they're becoming a thing, and that do we allow them, like, I think there was maybe some lack of clarity, so maybe that's something at your meeting on Wednesday, could maybe see if, you know, it's a little bit late notice, but at least maybe Phil could put it as a topic of, hey, you know, what is, you know, post-frame construction, continuous foundation, of what these other people have done already, and why we would, you know, not allow that. I mean, frankly, those are beautiful, a lot of those are very beautiful homes, and, I can't see why we wouldn't.
I know that what I've done for the last almost years, I've been going around talking to people who built these buildings. I said, tell me what you've done. I've gone to contractors, and I said, who built these post-frame buildings? And I said, tell me what you do. Tell me, because I built my last 3 homes. And so I said, tell me exactly how you do this. I've been to Montcalm County, they said, well, you have to have a sealed print. I said, okay, you know, that's fine, but, and then I asked if I could build one, and I got a no. So I'm trying to figure out, you know, can I get a variance? Is there something I can do to build this?
We shouldn't have to get a variance, there's multiple of them around here.
Well, let's start at the planning commission and just kind of have them chew on it a little bit, and I think we need to do some more research.
Okay.
Because that, you know,
Well,
definitely.
I see a lot of them, and if people wanna move in this area, wanna build barn dominiums, and a lot of these are $500,000 homes. Now, that's not what I'm building, I can't afford that. But if these people wanna move in our area, we don't wanna keep people out because they can't build. So that's all.
I appreciate you coming in and bringing this to our
Thank
attention,
you.
and we'll follow up on it.
After the planning commission, there is an option to possibly ask for a variance. It's not guaranteed
You have
you
to
get
ask
it,
for a
Right.
but
variance.
if the planning commission makes a change, you could save a lot of steps by it.
Yeah, let's talk to them first and go from there, so. Anybody else, Matt?
I just have a comment, I guess, I don't know if it's appropriate to ask you, Dave, but, continuous foundation can be a slab, correct?
It could be what?
A slab?
Continuous foundation?
Yep, that would be a slab.
I'd have to read and, find out if it says you have to go so many inches.
I believe that's where the barndominium comes into effect, if we're in a slab versus a foundation.
Okay.
Well, you have to have a foundation, do they consider
That
us?
would be your
That would be
slab,
the
would be your
foundation.
foundation.
I'd have to look up definitions on that, but I see where you're coming from.
And Matt, you also can add, I used to do slabs for oxygen tanks, and what we did is we put a foundation around the edge, it's called a floating slab, and that is a continuous foundation, we put a footing under it.
Yeah,
Simple, you drop the footing in, pour the slab, you're done.
the only thing the barndominium's lacking is, you have to be 16 inches off the finished grade with block up to there, they have that in the book too.
On our houses,
Or wall?
it has in housing, you can't build a house without block.
I didn't hear it, that's what their book says.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like we need to do some more research and look at what our ordinance truly says. I mean, I'd like to say, well, here's where, you know, this section says this, and maybe it's an interpretation thing, but we will definitely.
Can I add just a little bit? The contractors I talked to said what they did is because your posts are really, that's your, go down to, on footers down 42 inches in the ground. That's your foundation. The slab is just floating, but then they go around it with a 24-inch, what they call a rat wall. And so I did all that, maybe vainly, but at least I did that, and then foam around that. And that would keep freezing from coming underneath that, which is the same purpose for block or whatever they wanna do there, so. I just, for what it's worth.
I would encourage you to maybe attend the planning commission meeting, Wednesday at 6
o'clock.
6 o'clock.
If I may, yes, sir.
Yes, if you're able to, public meetings are open.
Thank you.
Public, and there'll be a public comment session there too.
All right, thank you.
So, anybody else?
I just have a couple comments.
I think Jamie was first.
Go ahead.
You first.
You raise your hand.
I didn't
Jamie Snyder, Cato Township. I just wanna piggyback off of what Ben was talking about with the state coming in, taking over green energy, all the stuff that they want to come in. If we let them in to do that, what next step are they gonna come in and take? That's, that's my fear. And these are all things that would benefit our community. Short-term rentals would benefit us, yes. I think that that's something that, as a community, we need to make those decisions, not the state. Let's keep it local. So thank you, Brandy, for supporting that. I appreciate that. So I hope everybody else signs on.
Amen.
Jenny?
Okay, I'm gonna just piggyback on what she said. I really don't think this should be kicked to the curb or kicked to the can. This can should be put on the table for another month. I think it needs to be done tonight. And so I think that everybody needs to look at it, and I would really like to see it done tonight. And as far as like the Daily News and the Lakeview paper, I agree that it should be in the Daily News for one simple reason of circulation. I am quite sure that the Daily News has more circulation in Cato Township than the Lakeview News does. Because the last time I looked at it was less than 380 something, and some of those were people that out of, they could have been in Florida. I mean, that many residents that received the paper And that doesn't take into account how many got thrown away at the counter because they never sold them. So there's probably a difference in what the price is at the Daily News, but there's probably a valid reason for it too, because more people are gonna see it. Thirdly, I wanna say that I don't understand why we have to have so many printers in this small office back here. Tell me again, how many printers are in there?
3.
Why?
That we only had 2 for years and years. We just bought a new copy machine, it happens to be a printer too.
Yeah, it's a copy machine printer, but it prints really nicely.
But we have 2 other printers beside
We
that?
have 2 old laser printers that have been here for years.
And
But they work.
They're not wireless. They're all cable.
I can't hear you.
they're not.
They're not wireless.
They're old ones that they're all cable.
Okay, so are we replacing all those little ones? Cause I'm just trying to figure out how many, it just doesn't make any sense that we have 3 or 4 printers in that little dinky office in there. It's like one should be sufficient.
We're gonna look for one black and white one that maybe Joyce and Todd could share. Correct. As opposed to replacing both of the existing that they already have.
On their desks? Is that what you're
Correct.
talking about?
Yep. Those are the old ones.
Okay, that doesn't make any sense to me, but whatever. I just had a question on it. And I think that's all I had.
Thank you. Anybody else? Kevin?
Hi, I'd like to follow up on allowing the state to take control. That'll be the biggest mistake of the whole state. If the townships don't control it, the state, they don't care what you do here. They worry about what's going on completely. And it's gonna be the biggest mistake. If we let go of that, they're gonna take over a whole bunch more. Everybody here will regret it. You'll see, we shouldn't have done it, but after that, it's gonna be way too late. So I agree with Jenny completely. Please initiate before waiting, be proactive and say, hey, we don't want it. A lot of townships, if they put their foot down, the state's probably gonna they'll do whatever they want. But if you can push them hard enough, they may back off. So please reconsider that.
Anybody else? You already had your public comment.
I haven't used my 3 minutes yet.
All right, really quick.
I just wanna tell you that I talked to the state representative on Saturday, and he said that when they go back into session in October, he is quite certain that the state's gonna have this whole energy thing on their agenda and they're gonna make some moves on it. And he's really scared about it because there's only a few Republicans and the rest Democrats in that room. He said, and it's gonna get shoved down our throat, he said, if we can't do something. So that's why I encourage it, because our next meeting could be after that.
I hear you guys, and if push comes to shove, we always have the option of a special meeting, but we really did just get this, like, literally, this afternoon, and I don't wanna bring it on our board, without giving them a chance to look at it.
But along with that, not only should you be voicing an opinion from I'm Nancy Lundwall from this township, that you as our township board should voice an opinion, but everybody in here should be contacting their
Your
state
representatives.
and everybody else, and you can do that just by computer, it's easy peasy, and let them know. Even if there's a small minority that vote no, somebody's gotta vote no on it. And so we want our representatives too. So that's our responsibility, not just your responsibility, so.
Thank you. Anybody else? Rosemary?
Winfield, Rosemary Murphy. I was wondering if you are ever gonna amend your wind ordinance, or how you do it, to get rid of what Todd and them put in right at the last. That was way different than what was recommended from your planning commission. If you're gonna take down the height and your wind, the decibels or whatever,
Yeah,
to LMAC,
we've had people ask that before, and it really has to kind of start at the planning commission,
okay?
to initiate that, and, we do still have quite a few regulations, that I think are very protective to the township. It's not, it's not perfect to some people's opinion, but at the same time, I do think there's a lot of protections in there, but it would have to initiate at the planning commission and move its way up. They're meeting on Wednesday, if you feel so
Okay.
inclined to voice
I
that.
would think
They need
you'd
to hear, they
start
need to hear
doing
that.
It was kind of a last minute slide it
I think
in and-
our chairman is open to the public comments.
Okay.
All right, last call.
Going.
All right,
Can I use my,
we're gonna close
rest of my
that.
3 minutes?
We have a motion to adjourn, is there a second? All right, all in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Okay.